we're back up here. These corrugated drain systems can be serviced. That's one part of the video I did want to make sure that customers or viewers knew, is that the corrugated drain systems, a lot of times when they get old, they stop working, they get leaf debris, they get gutter sand, roots in them, and they'll call someone out. Plumber tells you, I can't rotor-root it because it tears the pipe up. And landscape contractor says you just need to replace it. Well, you don't have to. You can jet hog clean them with a pressure washer. It sends a high pressure 3000 PSI snake through the line that shoots high pressure piercing water in 3 directions. And we can then identify where the specific, if there are root invasions, a lot of times we can identify those with that line, with that snake, and dig just in that area and make a specific repair. If it's nothing more than simply, it's just clogged up from years of leaves coming in from the gutters or from a, this will drain here. Well, you can see how it's going to get full of trash over time, and that trash gets in the pipe. So you can clean that a lot of times and service the lines, and you don't have to go through the thousands and thousands of dollars to replace it, especially when you have irrigation and lighting and all this in here. I mean, you can imagine if you took this up and just went digging or trenching through here, there's no telling the damage you would do. So it's much better to try to clean them. Well, when we were doing that for him up front, because we had some water intrusion on the other side of the house, I'll talk about that in a minute, we noticed that these downspouts here, and they had become separated, where the pipe had pulled away from the downspout itself, and water was just pouring right here at the foundation, and it had actually cut a hole in the ground around it. So we jet hogged those, and what we found, and you find this a lot, is that the company that installed this way back when had not used any fittings. They just tried to turn the pipe because it's corrugated. And when you do that, the pipe wants to pull itself down as it gets full of roots or debris or different things. Whereas if you have a fitting there, it will at least stay attached. I always do mine with fittings. And so as we came down through here, we identified, and we could not get the snake to go past sort of a dead end right here. This is a really bad erosion area that he has. And that pipe came through here. And as we dug and looked, someone had installed what's called a drain box, which is just, I'll show you one over here in a minute. It's supposed to come out to the surface where the water just comes up out of it, and it just, if it's got a top on it like it should have, it lays back down flat when it's not in use. And it was that deep underground. Somebody had literally buried that thing in here and just called it a job, which meant all the water that came off this roof, and this is a big house, and went in those 2 downspouts, dead-ended into that thing, backed up in these, foundation areas. There's no telling how much water damage was being done by that. So we found a root invasion here. We fixed that. We turned the pipe, and we put him a new pop-up emitter right down here, and I can see it's already been working. Pop-up emitter on right here for those downspouts, and now they just stay empty out and come out into this little drainage flume that somebody made. This is old stuff. We were working under the house. The employee noticed while he's back on the other side checking, water was penetrating the dugout bank in there. Water was penetrating, but it was coming from the top, up even with these downspout and vent wells. So we came out here and started looking to see what was going on, and yet again, these lines were separated from the downspout for the same reason. In this particular one, we started jet hogging them, and we realized that the main problem on this particular pipe over here on the right was about the first 5 feet was full of gutter sand and roof tacks where someone had redone the roof. And because no fitting was used, the pipe just pulled itself away. It was so heavy. So we were able to identify that problem only existed in about 6 feet, rather than redo again this whole thing. And what we did was we cut out that 6 feet and replaced it. We made proper attachments to these 2 downspouts, and then where the drain box here, you can see it's full of water right now. The lid's off of it, but again, the homeowner's trying to sell the house, so we're not going to get into every tiny little thing, just doing what he asked us to do. But we were able to run the drain snake through this way and the other way and see clear both times that we had run all the way through and clean the line and make it serviceable without having to replace it. So that solved that problem for him, and that was really good to know. And so, yeah, at this job, we were here for almost 2.5 weeks. It was very involved. It rained during the job. You know, sometimes these things get really involved. We had, I think, 3 or 4 pieces of equipment down here. It was a lot of work, but again, through a combination of, yes, installing new big construction stuff, but at the same time trying to think about what you can do to save people money and not end up just doing the job from hell where you just tear the whole place to pieces, where we reuse what's there that's serviceable. It was a perfect matchup of doing that and getting the irrigation back without creating a disaster, so he can go on with his life now. He's a busy man. Obviously, you don't live in a house like this if you aren't working hard and, you know, getting out here, getting after it every day. So he doesn't have time to chase this all over the place. So it was a very good advantage for him and us, and we really appreciated his business, but it was just a good chance to do a video. If you have any questions, you can post them in the comment section and we'll be happy to answer.